tried to adapt this in college and
Yeah.
got a cease and desist.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about the journey from that to now talking to us at Comic-Con the day before the show drops?
It's wild. So that was my first cease and desist of my career. Never forget your first cease and desist from a major publisher.
Wait, how many others have you had?
We're not here to talk about that. I didn't know what I was doing in college, and I didn't realize that you needed permission before you adapt the novel into a script. I thought you send the script, and if they like it, you're good. The thing I regret is I did what they said, and I destroyed all the copies. And that was a bummer. But I never let it go, and for the decades after that, it was always something I wanted to do. So it feels really wonderful to be here talking about it today. When I got to tell that story to Christopher Pike, he was utterly unaware that it had happened at all.
Yeah, he swears up and down he didn't know.
Now, I mean, what else is he going to say at this point? But yes, he does swear up and down he didn't know.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now,
I believe him for what it's worth. He's not shy about saying no to
That's
things.
true. That's very true.
now I gotta know, I'm like a huge fan of all of your Easter eggs, all the things you hide in your projects. You gotta tell us. We know the Oculus mirror is there, but what else can you tell us is hidden in this one?
We were able in this one to hide, this is going to sound ridiculous, but it's true, Hamish Linklater, Carla Gugino, and Kate Siegel. So all three appear in the show, but no one has yet found them.
Wow.
So,
I'm definitely gonna
Do we see their faces?
no.
I heard.
See, I knew it.
I heard a
knew
little something from Leah that you've hidden their voices somewhere, so we're gonna have to look into that. Oh, she didn't say who. But
Yeah.
you told us who, so we put it together.
Yes. Oh.
We've got to coordinate these things
I know,
before
that's
it's
true.
done.
But we don't know where, so that's still the journey to find out. Was there anything else that you guys were able to sneak in there, or even yourself?
There's a couple fun things. There's some overt references to some of my favorite movies and music from the 90s. My favorite joke that's been in anything we've ever gotten to do, a Die Hard joke is in the show. That's one of my favorite things, and we snuck a Die Hard poster into the frame just for that shot. It's never seen again in the show. It just appears on the wall for one line.
Which was oddly hard to clean.
It was really hard to get permission to do that, but I'm really proud of that. There's always little Stephen King stuff kind of sprinkled in, but for the most part, it was all just Pike. It was all just trying to throw as many Pike references as we could.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I had to get a picture with Heather. And then,
I understand.
Yes,
That's much
so
more important.
I was
Yeah.
a huge fan of Christopher Pike growing up. Like, read all of his stuff.
Oh, right on.
All the time. Yes. So, you were obviously familiar with the Midnight Club, but did you go in knowing exactly which novels you wanted the kids to tell?
I had a hierarchy. I didn't know exactly which ones, and we ended up optioning more than we used for this season. But I had my favorites because I read them all.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, we have to get this, we have to get this, we have to get this. I don't know who's going to tell it. I don't know how it's going to fit yet, but get that one, get this one. And it was like, oh, no. I would say things like, we have to do Monster, but I don't know when.
Monster and Whisper of Death.
We have to do Whisper of Death. Chain Letter was one I really wanted to do, but I was like, but you can't burn Last Vampire or Remember Me as a B story in a series like this.
Right.
Like,
Right.
it
Some of the
deserves
things are too
more. So there was a lot of kind of back and forth about what each of these stories wanted to be, and then how we could kind of make it work with one of the characters. We tried a few things on and moved things around over the course of it, but we've still got a pretty good plan for season 2. So if there is one, we don't know. We do not know if there'll be one, but yeah.
And I have to say Pike was great about it because we had an initial list, and he's like, "Wait, you want 40% of my what?"
Yeah.
And,
It was like, give us
but
all
he-
your stuff.
Give us all your stuff. But we ended up having to go back to him later in the process when we had some ideas about a couple of things that we didn't get in the first batch. So we had to go back and pitch him, and he was super cooperative about the whole thing and really loved the ideas. So
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff you can work with, too. I was so excited to hear that it was coming to the screen.
I know that you optioned 28 stories, and some of them are incorporated in this, some of them might be incorporated in a future season. Is there a chance some of them might be limited series? I know you've optioned one as a feature.
We didn't option anything else for other series on this. We did steal the Season of Passage for a movie and kind of put that aside.
Yeah.
That wasn't through Netflix, though. That was us. But nothing else as far as series. We didn't want to think about the spin-offs or anything like that. The priority was, can we make this season of this one work? And then, who knows if there's even going to be a second season of this one, much less kind of being able to do something else. But I think Last Vampire series, Remember Me, these are all things that would be wonderful series in their own rights, and could be terrific limiteds. So I'm hoping as more interest in Pike's work develops, that we could be involved in more, or other people could make stuff. And I'd love to, just as a fan, see some other Christopher Pike stuff out there. That would be really cool. So if this helps kind of pour some gasoline on that, then great.
And you're known for having actors return in different projects of yours. You had a bunch come into this show, which was exciting. You also have the Fall of the House of Usher. Do you see any of the characters, or not characters, but the actors from this series maybe showing up there?
Yes. So Igby, Ruth, and Sorian, and Aya all have pretty substantial parts in Usher. I would work with any of these actors again.
And we probably will.
So it's really just it's always about whether there's a good fit with the character and whether they're available. One of my favorite things about our kind of group of actors is when they're not available because they're booked on something else. It's always sad, but I love when that's the reason why we don't have them, I love that the momentum carries them off and they go off and do more. But there's not a single actor on the show I wouldn't work with again. And I hope I get to do it very soon.
And you guys have tackled Stephen King, Edgar Allan Poe, Shirley Jackson. I mean, who was your horror dream author that you haven't tackled yet? I'd like to see you guys do Lovecraft.
I'd love to do Lovecraft.
Yeah, so the Necronomicon is on my office table. It's
awesome.
in the center. So I would love to do that too. That's always been a dicey one because it scares the hell out of executives.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Lovecraft
that's a
is
great
tough,
suggestion.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that. I'd love to do some Clive Barker. Love Clive Barker's writing. Thomas Ligotti, if you're into Lovecraft, is phenomenal cosmic horror. And then on the classic side, we've talked about Dickens had some incredible ghost stories. Christmas Carol's a ghost story. It's he knew how to do this stuff. So that's an author we've flirted with, and yeah, there's plenty still out there.